Mr. Cheng Hsing Yao.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to declare that I work for a private real estate company. Yesterday, I was very heartened to hear from the MTF an unequivocal commitment for the transition into living with the virus. I cannot emphasize enough how important this commitment is to the local and international business and investment communities who are making their long-term investment decisions into Singapore. Some have started to refer to Singapore as a zero-COVID society, implying that we don't have the psychological resilience to transit into living with the virus. It is thus important for Singapore to signal our commitment clearly, not just to Singaporeans, but also to the rest of the world. Our commitment. And it will be a great story to tell the world we will transit into the new normal through the methodical and pragmatic Singapore way. Moving on, I'd like to express that I support the supplementary bill and support the fact that in this time of hardship, we must support each other where we can. I'd like to raise a relatively philosophical question on the sanctity of contracts. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we're living in exceptional times, and the government has the unenviable task of making difficult decisions like the need for a circuit breaker or heightened alert. The government has been very proactive in supporting businesses and saving jobs through very substantial schemes, such as the Job Support Scheme, tax rebates, etc. In addition, the government has, through legislation such as COTMA, directly intervened into private agreements. In essence, it has appropriated private resources to support certain segments of the value chain. I understand that these measures are extraordinary and even necessary, and the government has explained that these unprecedented steps are not to be taken as the norm. However, it is fair to assume that the path to recovery will be long and arduous. It is also fair to assume that there will continue to be shocks and disruptions that will require the government to activate decisive steps for future lockdowns or other responses. A critical part of Singapore's foundation for its economic success is being business-friendly and transparent and demonstrating a respect for legal contracts. Rare instances of intervention in private contracts are understandable, but repeated interventions will make businesses and investors wonder if that will be the government's modus operandi going forward. It would be useful if the government could outline its philosophy on intervening in private contracts. For example, what are the considerations to activate such interventions, and whether intervention is limited to certain sectors or would be applied more broadly if need be. Besides the actual substance of the policies, the signaling from the policies are also important, especially for the businesses and investment community that are making decisions on future long-term commitments. Notwithstanding my clarification, I support the supplementary bill. Thank you.